Right, so let's start our look back on the weekend with one of Ashley's former clubs, Chelsea, who were thumped 4-0 at Bournemouth, then responded by winning 5-0, their biggest win of the season against Huddersfield. And in Gonzalo Higuaín, does it look, Jamie, like Chelsea have found the striker finally to replace Diego Costa?
Listen, you're playing Huddersfield at home. It's far too early to say, is he the man to sort of take this Sarri ball, as we keep calling it, to success this season or in future seasons. What I would say about Higuaín is, over his whole career, I've always felt he was just below elite level, real world-class level. But the time he has shown world-class form is under this manager. So he's got, I think, 38 goals in 37 games. Obviously, all that at Napoli, he's just joined Chelsea now. So he has shown world-class form with this manager. Now, different managers can get different things out of players. If he can get that out of him, he has a great chance of keeping him sort of successful this season. Not him, the manager, but certainly Chelsea, because there's a lot of talk about Sarri at this moment, and I think he really needs this deal or this player, Higuaín, to really hit the ground running and continue forward, because I've mentioned at the weekend also, the way the talk was going, the way it is with Chelsea, we know the history of the club. If they don't make top four or they just sneak in top four, you may be surprised if he's still the manager next season. Big statement.
Well, I'll come back to that, because there was 2 goals for Higuaín, 2 goals as well for Eden Hazard. We heard a former teammate of yours, Joe Cole, saying recently that he's the best player that Chelsea have ever had. Does it still feel, Ashley, like if Hazard plays, Chelsea play?
Yes, I think, of course, we know how big of a key player he is for Chelsea. But I think with Higuaín coming in, I think they're going to settle in well. I think he scored 2 great goals at the weekend. And yeah, I think we need Hazard to be on top form in every game, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because I think we need more of the other players to kind of step up the game. But yeah, I think if Hazard gets injured, touch wood, then yeah, it's going to be difficult for Chelsea to kind of keep fighting for that top 4.
Dropped a wee in there. Do you notice that?
Oh, I noticed that.
Still
I was going to save that for later.
Still we.
You played with Eden Hazard. Where would you put him amongst players that you've played with?
Yeah, he's got to be up there in the top 3 or 4, I think. I think what he could do with the ball. In training, you wouldn't think it. He probably trains with his hands in his pockets, his laces undone, but when he gets on that pitch on a Saturday afternoon, he's electric. He can go left, he can go right. At times, he's unplayable, as we're seeing this time in the season. So, yeah, I think he's a big player for them, and you need him to keep firing on all cylinders.
So what do you think about Jamie's suggestion that Sarri is a man under pressure, despite the fact he's got, I think, 50 points from 25 games, same total as last season?
I don't think just yet. I think he's under pressure. I think, he's come into a team, tried to put his philosophy there, and I think it's down to the players as well. They've got to react. They've got to kind of understand how he wants them to play, as Jamie mentioned, the Sarri ball. I watched it in Italy when he was with Napoli, and the football they played from the back, from the goalkeeper, was amazing. And now I think all the players have got to get on board with that, because... How
different is it, Ashley, from what you were seeing there to what Chelsea are doing now?
It's different, but in terms of... I think it boils down to confidence. I think the Napoli players knew how they wanted to play. They had the confidence to play out at the back, and they went with the philosophy. And I think some of the Chelsea players kind of have to get with it sooner rather than later. But I think, yeah, he's definitely a great manager.
I take Ashley's point, but the reason I mention it is not the individual Sarri in terms of actually the job he's doing as an individual. It's the club. It's Chelsea we're talking about. And actually, we just got a graphic here of your Chelsea career, and it was actually 8 different managers in 8 seasons there. And what you can see is on 4 occasions there was changes halfway through the season, and you continue to be successful. And that's the pressure that's always on Chelsea managers. How was that for you as a player, being in that environment, having sort of one manager at Arsenal and Arsene Wenger, it's completely chopping and changing? Is it unsettling for a player, or was it just, it doesn't look like it unsettled you anyway?
No, I don't think so. I think as players, you don't kind of get involved in that or think about it too much. You're there to win, regardless of which manager it is. You know, you've got to do your job first and foremost. So, yeah, when I look here, I didn't realise I played under so many managers at the time. But, yeah, I think when you look through it, we won in the first year with a lot of managers, and then maybe the second year was a little dip. And consequently, the manager ended up getting the sack, which is kind of sad, really.
Well, I mean, listen, I've said Chelsea are the most ruthless club in the country. That's why we're talking about that with Sarri. It's no sort of disrespect to him. But for a long time now, and it's maybe getting mentioned now, he may have lost the players. He's come out and criticised the players. That was something that was levelled at teams you were part of also. Was that something that maybe the ownership, Roman Abramovich, consulted players about managers, or are they just ruthless from the top and they made the decision and didn't involve players?
Yeah, no, players I don't think are involved in kind of big decisions like that. It's always down to, of course, the owner, Roman, who, for me, has been one of the greatest owners of a club in Premier League history. I think he's always kind of backed the managers with money when they want to buy players, but that comes with expectation. You have to win. So...
But were you ever consulted?
No.
Never asked your opinion?
No. As players, certainly me, no, I was never consulted. I just kind of got on my job. I was there to play football, not to talk about which manager's coming in.
Do you think there's a ruthlessness at Chelsea, though, that sort of helps them win, maybe compared to sort of, you know, when you were at Arsenal? I felt it lacked that ruthlessness at times. I'm not saying in terms of sacking back, I just mean from top to bottom in the club. Was there something different when you went to Chelsea? You know, that ruthlessness from the top, the way they deal with managers tells everybody first is first, second's nowhere, basically. Yeah,
I certainly agree with that. You're at Chelsea to win. And I kind of got that kind of vibe when I first got to the club, and, you know, Jose was there. He's done a great job 2 years before he won the league. And then maybe 6 months later, a year later, he got the sack. So we took probably one of the greatest managers ever, and within 2-3 years after I arrived, he was getting the sack. So I knew from then on that it's ruthless, but as an owner, I think you want to win. The owner didn't think he could get the results or play the way he wanted to play, and kind of that was it, and he was gone. So, yeah, but like I said, I think the chairman has been great. They always want to buy new players, always willing to invest, but as I said, that comes with a consequence that if you don't win, you're out.
And that style is an interesting point that you make. And you've also suggested that maybe there's a resistance from some of the Chelsea group right now to get on board with Sarri ball. But what do you think, Jamie's point is that he won't be there next season, what do you think he has to do to convince the owner that he is the man going forward? What would it take? I
think in terms of players, probably they win a few games and, you know, everything's rosy again.
But top four, will that be enough?
On recent results, I'll probably say no, but I think, yeah, he needs to get a little bit of time. I think he can bring that exciting Italian football to England with Chelsea, and, you know, like I said, they have to be on board a little bit.
So let's put you on the spot. You've seen those list of managers, the 8 that you had under at Chelsea. Which of those would be your favourite? Who do you enjoy playing under most?
I enjoyed Scolari. Ancelotti was probably my favourite too. I think Scolari, he came at a time where I wasn't probably playing as well as I knew I could when I first came to Chelsea, and, you know, probably Chelsea fans can agree with me that I wasn't the Ashley Cole they knew at Arsenal. So he came and he brought this new lease of life. It was just like playing for Brazil. He said, let's play like Brazil. And he had me bombing up and down against people like Jamie Carragher. And Bosingo on the other side, and yeah, we kind of had no rules in terms of we could play, we could go where we want. The left and right back was going at the same time, and it's kind of unheard of at times. And we was playing some great football, and then probably by December we kind of petered out a bit, and after that he got the sack.
he lasted half a season, didn't he?
Best football we've ever played in a Chelsea shirt, but he got the sack
really?
6 months later. Yeah.